Hello dear friends, my name is Clive Thompson. I'm making this video to bring you some urgent and important news which may affect how you think about silver in your portfolio. On Monday, the 25th of August, the US Department of the Interior released their 2025 list of critical minerals. This list was drawn from the US Geological Survey, and for the first time ever, they've decided to add silver as a critical mineral. We'll look at the reasons why and the impact this could have on the silver price. So what does it mean if it's a critical mineral? It means that Washington will now treat silver like it treats lithium, like it treats copper, and like it treats rare earths. It will treat it as an important and strategic mineral for the US economy. Why is it important? It's important for electric cars, for semiconductors. I'm just turning the music down behind me there because I didn't want to get copyright banned for playing music in the background. And it's also very important for defense systems, which is perhaps the most important factor for the United States. So with silver now on the list, it means that there is support for the government stockpiles. The government have got rid of their stockpile of silver in the past. Now they will have to start rebuilding it. But they'll also encourage new mine permits, which will, over the long run, maybe in the next decade or maybe longer, increase the supply of silver. And of course, they'll probably allow some tax incentives for refining silver. Now, the one big source of silver in the United States is Mexico. And that's defined in the report as one of the risks. It's defined as a small risk, i.e. only 4%. But you can imagine a scenario where perhaps Mexico says, right, you've slapped tariffs on us, we're not going to export our silver to America, or maybe they put tariffs on the silver going to America, who knows what. But America is relying on is relying on Mexico to get its silver. And in the event that they couldn't get silver out of Mexico, the US economy would lose billions of dollars because it would have to buy the silver from more difficult to obtain places at higher prices. Low probability, but high impact. So silver is moving up in importance in the strategic minerals stockpile of the United States. It's no longer just a metal for coins or jewelry. It's also a strategic metal which is used for weapons and electronics. So who's going to benefit from this? Well, obviously a higher demand from silver is likely to come because the US will presumably, and we don't know this, but as a strategic metal, they're presumably going to now start stockpiling silver. That will create a demand, and that would mean potentially a higher price. But the real beneficiary of this will be the silver mines, because as the silver is stockpiled, the silver mining companies should see higher prices and significantly higher prices because of the higher silver price. So as the silver price rises, the profit of the company can rise much faster. To give you an example, let's say you've got a silver mining company mining silver at, let's say, $30 an ounce. That's the cost of mining, or what they call the AISC, or the all-in, what's AIS stand for? The all-in sustaining cost, AISC, all-in sustaining cost. So let's say they've got an all-in sustaining cost of $30 an ounce, and they're selling their silver at $35. Their profit would be $5 an ounce. But let's say the silver price rises by 10% to $38, which has just happened, as we know. Then they are still mining the silver at $30, but they're selling it for $38. So their profit has gone from the $5 an ounce that they were making at $35 to $8 an ounce they're making now when the silver price is 38. So their profit has gone from $5 an ounce to $8 an ounce. That's a 60% increase in the profit of the silver mining company, whilst at the same time the price of silver has only gone from 30 to 35, which is about 12.5% increase. So a 12.5% increase in silver can create a 60% rise in the value of the silver mining company shares. It does depend on the silver mining company and what price they're mining the silver at. If they're mining it at a very low price, it'll have a small impact. If the cost of mining is very high, it'll have a high impact on the share price. So that's the breaking news regarding silver. How can you benefit from it? Well, first of all, you can buy silver in lots of different ways. If you want physical coins or bars, most large coin dealers will sell you quantities of silver. Bear in mind that you might have taxes depending on the country you live in when you buy, and there'll be also quite a premium over the silver price because it costs a lot of money to make the coins or the bars and to distribute them through the dealers, and of course the dealer's got to pay his rent and have his markup to make a profit. So don't expect to be able to buy silver at the silver price if you're buying a physical metal in small quantities. And if you're buying a physical metal, what sort of metal would I suggest you buy? Well, I think there's three types which are interesting, maybe four. The first type is in the country where you live. They probably had silver coins of the realm. So in the UK, I think that's silver coins pre-1947. In Switzerland, it's pre-1967. I don't know what year it was in America. I haven't got that in my head, but it's probably pre-19. No, it was 64, I'm guessing, but doesn't really matter. But you can look it up easily and find out what coins existed in silver in your country. And almost certainly in many places you'll be able to buy bags of these coins, which will be recognized by citizens of the country. That's a good way to buy junk silver coin, or it's called junk silver coins. The second way is to buy what's known as bullion coins. These are well-known coins like Krugerrands, maple leaves, harmonicas, Britannias, American Eagles, and so forth. You buy these coins and you can buy them in boxes of, you can buy them in any size really, but let's say you wanted what's called a monster box. That's 500 coins, that's 500 ounces. It's quite a lot of silver, pretty heavy, but you're getting something which is starting to look really great if you've got a monster box full of silver coins. And because they're bullion coins, they trade at the lowest premium over the silver price. Then you can buy another type of coin, which I kind of call collector coins. They're not particularly rare, but they're fun to get. So, for example, in various countries, they have different types of collections. For example, in Canada, they have the Arctic Animals collection. In the UK, they have the Queen's Beast collection. In Australia, they have the lunar animals, the lunar coins they're called, with all the different animals of the zodiac. And each year they'll bring out a new animal and you can buy the coins. But of course, you find it very hard to get anything other than the current year. But it's great fun to collect the current year and then see if you can find the coins from the previous years. And over time, if you're lucky, you might get the full collection by looking around a bit here and there on eBay and auction sites and
from calendar.
Local places where you could be looking. So that's getting the coins. Then you can buy bars, physical bars, and the physical bars come in sizes or 1 ounce, 10 grams, 50 grams, 100 grams, 1 kilogram, 400 ounces, that's a very large bar, and so forth. So you can buy physical like that too. What if you want to not have the physical? Well, the advantage of not having the physical and having it in custody is the spread, the bid-ask spread, is usually a lot less. So if you buy through a big bank who sells silver, or through a broker or a dealer, you can probably buy quite large quantities of silver and have them stored by the institution concerned. That's not a bad idea, and often it's a way of not paying the local tax, the VAT or sales tax that you might have in your country. Another way of buying silver is through the exchange traded funds. I would recommend that you go for an exchange traded fund which trades on the stock exchange of your country, and also one which is described as physical silver. So it says they hold the physical silver, and most of them do, but just double check the fact sheet. So you look up, if you want to choose one, you look up exchange traded funds silver, and you'll find one probably in your country, and then you can buy, make sure it says physical silver. If you're not sure, download the fact sheet from the website and just check it says physical silver held, and then you could buy that. And the last way you can buy into or get exposure to the silver price is through the silver mining companies. Now, I will be releasing in the coming day or two a list of, it's taken months of research, a list of excellent silver mining companies. Some of them have the potential to be, lots of them have the potential to be 10 baggers. 10 baggers means you could get 10 times what you invest. There's one or two which could be 40 baggers, and there's even one which I think might be 100 bagger. Of course, it won't be investment recommendations, and there's no guarantee if I tell you something could be 100 bagger that it will be, because usually that's a very leveraged company where it will only make that sort of money if the silver price goes up to, say, $50 over the next 4 or 5 years. But yeah, there are some pretty exciting companies in my mining list, which I'll be releasing on a YouTube video in the coming days. So you could get the silver miners. Make sure, and I'll stress this in the video, or this is my recommendation, that you buy a silver mining company which is already making profits or which is about to make profits. Buying silver mining companies which haven't yet started production is a risky game. They're probably sitting on a lot of holes in the ground, and you know the old adage they say, on top of every prospecting company, or every prospecting company is nothing but a hole in the ground with a liar sitting on the top. So even if they're not lying, it could take many years before they dig the silver out of the ground, because it takes many hundreds of millions of dollars to do that, and you'll find that many of these prospecting companies have nothing like the money which is required to dig it up. So they just keep looking and looking, and then hoping that someone will buy that what they found off them. But at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to dig it up. So that's why I say go for the companies which are already digging up the the silver, or the gold, if we look at it, but silver in this case, digging up the silver and are successfully selling it so that they make a profit, because those are the companies that are most likely to survive, but also will benefit a lot if the silver price goes up. So if you can't pick your individual silver mining companies, or you don't want to listen to my video where I've done the hard work for you, then what you can do is buy a silver mining company ETF. There are several out there. They're called exchange traded funds, and you look for the symbol. Well, we put in a silver ETF, and you'll find one, for example, with the major silver companies. You'll find another one with the junior silver mining companies. I think that's a nice, easy way to get exposure to the market if you don't want to pick your individual stocks. Is money going to go into the silver market? Yes, I think so. We're seeing the exchange traded funds just starting to rise a little bit faster than the silver price now. It's also starting to rise faster than the stock market. The silver mining sector is a very tiny sector of the stock market. So a small amount of money coming out of the tech sector going into the silver mining sector could boost the silver mining stocks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got to say on the silver news, i.e. that the Department of the Interior has added silver to the list of critical minerals. It changes everything for the silver price. Do have a look. If you want to look at the article, you can go to the Department of the Interior, that's doi.gov website. Look at their recent news. The news is dated 25th of August 2025. That's the day they've added silver. So this is the 27th of August 2025 when I'm making this video, so that's 2 days ago. Thanks very much. If you like this and you want to see the silver mining video in a couple of days, or maybe today if I get time, then click like, subscribe, and if you've got any comments or questions, I'll be happy to answer it.